Welcome to Game Galaxy, and today I'll be talking about the quintessential arcade sports game of the 90s, NBA Jam. Particularly, I'll be focusing on NBA Jam Tournament Edition, which was published by Acclaim and released in 1995, and I'll also be focusing at the Sega Genesis version. Out of the 16-bit consoles, the Genesis version wins. It's no secret that sports games usually played better on the Genesis. To drive this point home further, I'm just going to show you some examples of footage from the Super Nintendo version and the Sega Genesis version.
Here's the tip. For two! The rebound! Yeah! Fantastic!
As you can see, the Genesis version is faster, includes music, and just has an overall better control. I really feel like the Super Nintendo users got the short end of the stick on that one. But that's not the point of this video. The original NBA Jam was released in arcades in 1993 by Midway, rest in peace. Midway made some of the best arcade games, and NBA Jam is king, in my opinion, of the arcade sports genre. NBA Jam is a 2-on-2 basketball game with no rules and arcade action. And oh yeah, the jams. NBA Jam had digital likeness of real NBA players, which was really exciting if you had a favorite team. Unfortunately, this game did not include Michael Jordan as the license was not secured, and that's because Michael Jordan personally owns his name and his likeness as opposed to the NBA, and I just assume it was way too expensive for Midway to secure. And that's really a shame because that's all we really wanted. The only rules that are included are shot clock violations and goaltending, so you can shove and foul all you want, which is actually a strategy in the tournament edition. The players have an injury counter. The higher number of injuries, the slower and more prone they are to dropping the ball when shoved. Benching a player one quarter will reset their injury count to 0, but if they are fouled again, it will rapidly put their injuries back up and slow them down. When a player makes 3 baskets in a row and the other team has not scored, you will become on fire. You have unlimited turbo to sprint and your shots will almost never miss. I found that as long as you are over the half-court line, you will make a 3-point shot while on fire. If the other team scores or you have made 4 consecutive baskets, you will no longer be on fire. One of the things that made games released in the 90s so great was the humor and awesomeness of cheat codes and secrets. The most ridiculous one out of NBA Jam was the one that allowed you to dunk from anywhere on the court.
Hello! Oh my! Heating up!
There's also tons of secret characters. You unlock these by entering specific initials on the initial entry screen. You could be President Bill Clinton, which is just hilarious, Will Smith from his Fresh Prince days, and Benny the Bull, the Chicago Bulls mascot, and many, many more. Now, Mark Turmel was the lead programmer on NBA Jam, and in 2008, he confirmed a long-standing rumor that the game had a bias against the Chicago Bulls. And he confirmed that the game was programmed to when the Bulls were facing the Pistons, the Bulls would miss last-minute clutch shots against the Pistons and lose. And that's because he was a Detroit Pistons fan. And shame on you, Mark, because not only were the Bulls one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NBA at that time, but the company you worked for was based in Chicago. So what were you thinking? I don't get it. Man, NBA Jam holds one of the greatest gaming memories that I have because in 2014, which is only last year, a group of friends and I went downtown to an arcade bar or barcade, whatever you want to call it, in downtown Los Angeles called Bar 83. They've got a lot of classic arcade games and pinball machines. If you live in the LA area, I highly recommend it. But my friend Paul and I went to play NBA Jam against these two people we didn't know, and it was so intense of a rivalry and game. I was laughing constantly, and one by one, people started to stack up and watch this game. And before you know it, there was a crowd watching this game, and we went up for a jam and shattered the backboard, and the glass broke, and this whole crowd of people was just like, "Oh, And I was just laughing hysterically, like, oh my gosh, like this is incredible that people are actually watching this intense games. We were the Bulls and they were the Lakers, and we ended up going into overtime. And at this point, I'm just laughing so hysterically. My hands are slipping off the joystick. We ended up losing by 2 in overtime to the Lakers, but it didn't matter. We turned to the guys and said, congratulations, good game, and it was just fun. And that's the great thing about arcades and these new barcades that have kind of come up. It's like reinventing the fun of what arcades were if you didn't go to the sketchy ones. Just having fun with people you don't know, strangers, and people were putting their quarters on the Street Fighter 2 machines to get their place in line. So it was just an awesome time. There's an updated version of NBA Jam called NBA Jam On Fire Edition. You can get it almost anywhere as it's been released on PS3, 360, iOS devices, Android, the Wii. Be sure to check it out because it plays almost identical to the original. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos coming in the future. And if you guys played NBA Jam back in the day and had a favorite team, let me know who your team was. Because my friend and I, who work together, we play this game together every day after work. And currently, my favorite team to play as is the Orlando Magic. Horace Grant is my main man. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next time.